Hello and welcome back to another game of Dota 2. We are here with the third game of StarLadder Star Series Day 6. And it is of course still Season 8. And of course I'm not alone. I'm once again joined by Kanaz. Kanaz, does it look to you like we have an AFK team?
It kind of looks like we might have an AFK team. I don't think they said anything before we started. They were just like, we're going to go at time, and then just hit go before checking if the players were here.
Well, that's interesting. Well, while we do that, did you see what I linked just now in the chat?
Yeah, I was actually reading that as well during the little short break that we had. It's definitely very interesting. Oh, there's a ban. Maybe they weren't AFK, or maybe only slightly AFK.
Slightly AFK. Perhaps they just came back seeing like, oh my god, we have to ban something. Well, they didn't say anything in the chat, so they're not objecting. I guess, you know, they kind of can't do anything against it anymore. Anyway, wow, English. Thank you very much. Ooh, we have a Viper ban out. First ban again. We saw that Alliance did this too against VirtusPRO. Has VirtusPRO picked a lot of Viper lately? Because I don't think they have. And even if they had, I mean, they're not really doing all too well in StarLadder at the moment, so I don't know.
It's definitely not something I've seen, but these teams might be scrimming with each other maybe a little bit. Particularly OSG, I guess, is another sort of Russian team. Maybe they've played against each other and they're familiar that Viper is a hero that these VirtusPRO lineup has been trying out and had some success with, perhaps. Or maybe not. Maybe it just happened to work out that way. But we're going to see Venomancer make it through the pool, which is sort of a rarity nowadays.
Yeah, he gets banned out so often that we don't see him that much anymore. VirtusPRO rewarding that with the first pick. They banned out the Timbersaw and the Lich this time, with the Bristleback actually removed from the pool. I guess someone has been keeping up to date with some of the Eastern Dota, as in Eastern side of the world, not Eastern side of Europe. We have seen quite a bit of a Bristleback this morning, I believe, and he has some great results. And he's just very annoying to deal with, so they remove him. And on top of that, he is very annoying to deal with, especially in combination with the Venomancer, so multiple poisons and ticks and slows and all that jazz. You just don't want to have to deal with that. I don't blame them. Crystal Maiden and Mirana picked up, though. That's a nice start for Slick Gaming.
Well, those are two of the heroes that Alliance had in their last game when they just took that one, so maybe they're hoping to have similar success. Illidan actually just connected. I hope he wasn't drafting for VP.
Likewise. Oh, he's back. I don't think he is drafting for VP, as he is, I mean, the stand-in in this game.
It's so hard to tell now that any of the colors can be the drafters.
There should be like a crown or something on the one that's
definitely.
That's selected.
Make it a little bit less confusing for us.
Yep.
So we don't have to be worried
about people disconnecting. We have a Doom pickup. We saw the Doom picked up first in the previous game by VirtusPRO. It didn't work out, but perhaps this time they'll have more luck. We saw a lot of Heaven playing the Doom, and he was in the jungle most of the time. And I'm expecting Slick Gaming to have watched that game, so we'll see if they know how to deal with it. They at least know what to expect from it at the moment, I think.
Yeah, they should be familiar with what they were doing with this Doombringer and just how to work around it if it's going to be played in the same way. It could also be played differently if they want to try it some other way, but I kind of expect if they're picking it up against, once again, going to go in the hands of Light of Heaven. Yeah,
we have an Alchemist removed. Pugna as well, so perhaps I was like still expecting some kind of pushing lineup to come out of VirtusPRO. With the Weaver and the Elder Titan removed as well, not too surprising to see that Elder Titan removed. We still have a Lifestealer in the pool though, which is one that we might see picked up coming off for VirtusPRO, as Clockwork is the one that Slick Gaming goes for. I have to say, I'm just happy that there is another Mirana. I hope that he will be very active and he will get a lot of arrows and roaming going.
Arrow's just such a fun ability to watch. When it comes out of nowhere and lands and just a really long stun, you're like, yeah, Arrow, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, it gets a good feeling going. It's a real playmaker. I agree. Windranger picked up next to the Clockwork there for Slick Gaming, and now they have a lot of options, because we could actually see the Clockwork as the offlaner, which is what I'm expecting. Now we'll see. But Windranger, or whoever she is, she's also here like an offlane or support or mid, and the same thing goes for Clockwork in a way. So I like that Slick Gaming picked that up and keep their lineup slightly open. I hope that she'll be a support though, in this matchup, as VirtusPRO has their 2 supports quite,
10 seconds remaining.
you know, quite clear. Venomancer and Visage. Though we did see Venomancer on a farming role yesterday in a different game, so perhaps we'll see him here as well. But for now, the 2 Vs are both supports.
Yeah, Venomancer can be played in kind of different ways now with sort of his buffs, but with that puck pickup, it's looking pretty likely that it's going to be a support. You can't, if you're not going to send him to the mid lane, it's kind of weird for him to be like a farming carry in a dual lane or something. But they could do it if they wanted to. I just wouldn't expect it with this Doom already picked up, because then they're tri-laning. That's kind of weird. But yeah, Windranger going to probably be a support here with the Clockwork pick as well, and predicting that Mirana will then be some sort of farmer. You could also send Mirana to the off lane, then Clockwork mid, or something crazy like that, but no real reason to expect that with their current picks.
No, Lifestealer still removed from the pool. Apparently also the gaming the same as I was.
It's kind of crazy to see Lifestealer as the 9th ban. Yeah. Sometimes we see him as the 1st ban.
or first pick, yeah.
Yeah, it's made it all the way to 9th ban is kind of insane.
Wow, Shadow Fiend picked up. Now there were quite a few counters towards the puck still in the pool, but Oslick Gaming go for a bit more of a semi-carry later on in the game. I don't blame them, because even though Mirana is nice, having her as the only carry might not be the way to go, especially not with VirtusPRO still potentially picking up a carry as last one. So I like the Shadow Fiend pickup. It does mean that there's going to be a bit more emphasis on the supports and trying to keep everybody of VirtusPRO at bay for a while. But Mirana is one of the heroes that can make that happen with good arrows, no pressure.
5 seconds remaining.
Never any pressure on the Mirana player to land arrows, right?
Yep.
So Shadow Fiend's not like a great matchup for the mid lane, so I'm interested if that's what they're gonna actually do, or maybe if they want to send Mirana to the mid lane and just safe lane the Shadow Fiend. If you get a good start on Shadow Fiend, it can be fine, but if you get behind even a little bit, Puck has so much damage it can burst you down very quickly. It's kind of dangerous.
Yep. Anti-Mage. I haven't seen that one in a while.
He's not a very common pick anymore.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah. I like him still, though. I guess he's not as of the one-man carry team army as he used to be. Needs more heroes that work well together with carries.
He can still definitely get that way, but it's kind of a weird feeling I have seeing this image and being like, yeah, I haven't seen image in a while. That's cool. And when I can still remember the times when he was in every single game always, because there were like no other carries.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I mean, he needs a bit of time. I'm thinking that this is a game where he actually could get that time, because, as said, OSG also needs a bit of time for their carries to grow big. But yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how he does and if he can make something happen. Like, he doesn't have any specific great targets to Mana Void, for example. Like, there's no Storm in the pool or anything like that. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. On the side of Oslick Gaming, we got Wicked Sick playing the Windranger. He'll be well, supposedly playing a support. He'll be on the top lane for now, probably also together with the Crystal Main played by Zik. They will be tri-laning together with Tron, who is playing the Clockwork, if they indeed stay on that side. In the mid lane it will be Chomi taking on the Shadow Fiend, and that means that on the safe lane it will be Bignon playing the Mirana on the safe lane. And I mean, I don't think she needs help. I think this could be a nice aggressive trial, and actually they go for Arsar straight away. The Frostbite was on there, but can't really do anything else. The Invisible Windranger doesn't want to be uninvisibilized. That's another word, I know that.
Uninvisibilized.
I think it should be a word.
Describes the situation, right?
Yep. Well, I guess I could just say it doesn't want to be visible, but you know.
You're right. Revealed, even.
Yeah, revealed. There we go. That's the word.
I'll go for VirtusPRO on the dire side. We're gonna have the stand-in Illidan farming up in that safe lane. On the anti-mage, he's gonna be supported by Jotum on the Visage and Arsart, who will be taking up the Venomancer. Mid lane, that's gonna be Puck, handled once again by G. And finally, their off lane will be Light of Heaven, again on the Doombringer.
Yeah, now that there is actually just a solo laning Mirana, or at least for now, Crystal Main is making her way bottom. But I think that Light of Heaven doesn't really have to go into the jungle. He'll be okay with getting experience, though Crystal Main is making her way over, and VirtusPRO does have a ward at that Roche pit, so they did see her move there. Light of Heaven trying to hide for the moment. They know where he went though, and he's actually just gonna teleport top. He doesn't want. Wow, he really doesn't want to be there. Like, I think he could still hang around there, get some experience, but he just rotated to the jungle. Ooh, Gale coming out on the clockwork. He does pop the cogs, but still. This could be trouble, and Arsart actually eating his way through the trees. In comes Illidan blinking forward. They go for the first blood, and I think they're gonna get it. Oh my god, the shackle! It might be enough. The self not gonna heal Tron up in time. Illidan will have another blink in a couple of seconds. The cogs help out, that's for sure. The slow, though, still coming from the visit, and your first blood goes the way of Illidan. Still, but that is a lot of farm miss for Illidan for that one. I mean, he gets first blood, that's a lot of gold, but he misses quite a bit for it.
I'm surprised it took them that long to really get that kill. I thought they had Tron earlier, and it was a really sweet play by Arsart to eat his way around the cogs to be able to get there and get those right clicks in. He was only level 1 though, so didn't have the point in Poison Sting yet to really be doing that much damage. And they end up getting it, but you're right, it's a lot of farm that Illidan gave up for that. He's only got 5 last hits now, as opposed to Mirana sitting on 8 down that bottom lane.
Yeah, and let's go Shadow Fiend in the middle lane. That was a hasted Venomancer helping out with a Gale. And Puck getting the kill. That's a pretty decent job. I mean, that Shadow Fiend was only sitting, or is now sitting only on 3 souls, and as long as they can keep that one shut down, as Illidan, he is very low on mana all the time. Those cogs have really bursted him through, but they go for Tron again. They've slowed him down. There's no Gale this time, no mana coming out from Arsart, and it looks like Tron might be saved. No, the ward's coming out. Arsart might be able to get this, a dodge. The wards, can they get him? Can they get Tron? No, they can't. Those couple of wards. Tron just hides, line of sight, it works out. Oh my god, he lives. That's insane.
It was really close. Yeah, if the ward had been able to just get one auto attack off, the Poison Sting would have been enough to take Tron down, I think. But he's going to survive. They just end up, trading hits a little bit. And a lot of mana expended by VP, and they really are going to be hurting for that up in the top lane if they have a couple more of those. Arsart doesn't even have the mana to Gale yet. And with no clarities, it's going to be a while before he can again. Yeah. But going back to that kill in the mid lane, that's the real thing I'm worried about when you send this Shadow Fiend mid like this against a Puck. It really only takes one hero moving into this mid lane to get these kills on Shadow Fiend, and he's got to be really careful about that. If he dies a lot, gets picked off that way, he's never going to get the start he needs, and his team is going to have a lot of trouble taking these fights as the game goes on. They really need the mid game to be theirs.
Yeah, they do. This is a time-sensitive game for sure. And the Shadow Fiend, I would actually say, I mean, he's on 12 souls right now, so he's going to be doing a lot better. But I would just, like, I would have done it different at the start. I would have sent the Windrunner mid for a moment until Shadow Fiend had a couple of souls and was going to be okay. In the meantime, Arsart will be forced to, well, he wanted to pick up the regen room, but Wicked was able to deny it. Still got chased down by Arsart, but should be able to make it out. Perhaps he can still slow him down. Illidan coming in as well, but the tower is too close by, and they can't go on him. Illidan sitting on 15 last hits, and, I mean, he's got first blood, great and all, but you already pointed out that Mirana sitting on 24-7. Free farming Mirana is not going to be as big as a free farming anti-mage, but it's still gonna put her online earlier than Illidan.
Yeah, getting the farm early is always going to be good on whoever you're giving that farm to. And if it's going to be Mirana, she can start having that big impact in the mid game. And if Shadow Fiend's able to get some as well, they can really take a lot of big fights with the right click damage those two will be able to put out. And if they don't, then it's going to be a little bit more awkward, because eventually anti-mage is going to be the one that's big and scary in this game.
Yeah. If VirtusPRO can delay the game long enough, then they're going to be okay regardless. We have actually, I mean, Anti-Mage might not be ahead compared to the Mirana, but the top 4 still has 3 of VirtusPRO in it, because the mid lane, of course, is going the way of G, 21-11 versus 19 for 5. And we have got still the Doom, even though, of course, most of his skills are jungle creeps and they don't give as much as normal lane creeps. He is actually doing just fine. He's got 24 last hits in this jungle and making sure that he can get the best of it. These cogs, by the way, are really hurting Illidan. This is the dozenth time that he's actually got hit by that. He does have mana again to blink, but he has to be careful with that.
The constant cog harass, as well as he used almost all of his mana at the beginning to chase down Clockwork, and he doesn't really have much mana regen on a hero like Anti-Mage early on, just sitting on the 1. So if anytime he's getting burned for mana, it hurts him really badly. He's not really at much risk of getting killed off though by these two heroes with just the Windrunner and the Clockwork. Basically, Clockwork will have to decide if he wants to try and catch him in cogs and allow him to blink, because he's always going to have the mana for one blink pretty much, unless he gets cogged.
Radiant's
G
top
and
tower
Arsart
is under
coming to
attack.
dive the top lane, but the Frostbite was already there. Weejazik was at the right place, and it's gonna be Puck that dives first. They're looking for more, they're looking for Arsart, perhaps Jottam. They can't find him anymore, the Flare will just scare them back. Taking down the Puck is probably the biggest target you could get besides the anti-mage, so that's a pretty decent rotation, but all 5 heroes were there for that moment for Oslick Gaming, and it does cost them quite a bit. They have smoked up though, they're trying to make something more of it, with Bignum still there. They might be able to get an arrow going and or at least take a tower. If they can't kill off anybody, then a tower would be decent. But G is already teleported back mid, and perhaps that's the one that they want to be going for. Oh, they're gonna find the Doom first though. Light of Heaven, frostbitten, arrowed, killed. Slightly overkill on the arrow, but oh well.
It's a good kill for them to be able to get though, and if Bignum used a little bit more mana just to be able to ensure that he got the kill, it's pretty much fine. So they're able to get that kill after getting also the kill on the Puck. It was kind of awkward from G. He kind of just ran into top lane and got chased down by a Crystal Maiden and killed. It looked really awkward just watching it, and those are 2 big high-value targets to get kills for OSG, and they got them back-to-back, so it makes the rotation really good from them, and now Bignum can go back down to farming in that bottom lane. They also have the 2 top leaders in the CS chart.
Yeah, turned around quite fast there, and I have to say, Bignum, I mean, he's got the 2 kills right now. Definitely looking solid again. Hoping that he will continue with those kind of rotations though, but he doesn't have a teleport scroll on him at the moment. In the meantime, they're still trying to slow down Illidan. It's not really working that well in terms of last hits, because he's still highest for his team. But, oh, it's better than nothing as Illidan gets locked inside again. Frostbitten now as well. The Shackle won't let you. Should be able to blink himself away. He's completely out of mana now though, but doesn't die, which is the main concern. If that Shackle would have latched, that would have been a kill.
Dire's top
Yeah,
tower is under
if they were
attack.
able to get those shackles, it's pretty much going to be a kill on someone like that right now. But they weren't able to. He's had quite a few shackles. I was really surprised by the angle thus far, so I can't be really upset about that particular one.
No. I had enough hackle shots. G has picked up an Invis rune. It looks like he is waiting for someone to arrive where he is, though Chomi is still hiding behind his tower, knowing that something is wrong. Crystal Maiden might be a good target, though. And it looks like it. Oh, we just dig. Dream Coiled. There will be an orb. Will he dodge the orb? No, it won't. That's a kill right there. And Puck jumps himself back to the other side. Crystal Maiden, it's hard to dodge that orb when you're sitting so close to a Puck.
The only way that orb was missing is if G did something really silly, pretty much. He was so close that as soon as he cast it, it was going to hit a slow hero like Crystal Maiden. Only seeing on basic boots and just so naturally slow.
We've got ourselves, Bignum might be in a bit of trouble. We've got Doom on the Radiant jungle. And I also mean with Doom, I mean his spell, he's level 7 at this moment. And we also still have Arsart here. But Arsart, he has rotated a lot. I mean, he's made those kills happen early on in the game. So he is still level 4. Visage, on the other hand, is level 5. And I think that's really why he's here. Just try and get as much levels as he can. In the meantime, levels on the top lane aren't really something to write home about either. I mean, level 5 for both of them. And Crystal Maiden is still level 4, so slightly behind, I'd say, as well, as there's a smoke up for Wicked Sick, Weejazik, and Bignum. Can they take down Arsart? Can they punish him for trying to farm on the bottom lane? The Gale still hits upon too, though. Starstorm, Shackle, it's enough. Or awkward power shot. Awkward power shot.
Everyone.
They
That was
get the
an
kill.
awkward- Yeah, they got the kill.
It was pretty awkward. I think maybe Wicked Sick was expecting Arsart to go up and not try and ditch to the right. But regardless, he will get the Venomancer is going to go down. There was really little chance of Arsart escaping there with the 3 heroes chasing him. And it does buy time for Light of Heaven to just kind of teleport away, and he's going to go back to farming. Up in his own jungle this time.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, the Venomancer wards come out here on the bottom lane to protect that tier 1 tower. And in the meantime, Tron gets solo experience here on the top lane, which is pretty decent. And again, those cogs
Dire's
are
bottom
really
tower has
hurting the anti-mage. I mean, he has mana for 1 blink, but can't really play aggressive, even though I think he might be able to, considering he has got that mana void and his opponent isn't really that high level just yet. I'd say the one that's really struggling more than I think he should be is the Shadow Fiend. He's not doing bad at all, but he's not doing as well as I think he should be. He's got himself the Ogre Club, so he's starting to build up towards his BKB, and the Jungle Cruise will definitely help him out, and he's sitting on max ult. Wait a second, Moonlight Shadow. They are going for the Venom again. Get him! I mean, no surprise there. 3 versus 1 and Moonlight Shadow used, but... well, that's an expensive kill right there.
Dire's bottom tower
Especially
is
for
under
a hero like Venomancer. Getting the kill on Venom's kind of whatever right now. VP's not having a ton of success with their movement. Clockwork gets a solo kill on Doom
Yeah, might die for
without
it though.
using his ultimate.
And he won't actually. He's got stick charges. The familiars can't catch him anymore. He's got bottle charge. He's just fine. I was never worried.
It's
Dire's middle tower
that's
is
really
under
a surprising kill, especially since he didn't use hookshot. He just apparently walked up to Light of Heaven and cogged him while we were watching Venomancer in the
Yep.
bottom lane. But
Cogged
he's
him
also going
with
to
the
fight a double
battery
damage
assault.
rune. Denies that from a G on the puck. And that's the kind of rune that can really be very useful for puck right now to move around and set up some of these kills.
Yeah, and this puck, I mean, he really wants to have his Blink Dagger. He still doesn't have it. I mean, previous game, G was also playing the puck. And he also had a fairly late Blink Dagger. And I feel like it was the same thing there. He didn't have a bad mid lane. I mean, he was winning the mid lane. But he's just not able to find anything in the, like, early to mid game. Not really mid game, but like in between there. Right after the laning phase, he rotates while he either should be continuing farming or his rotates have to be guaranteed successful. And he is just, because their rotations aren't so successful, he's just really dropping behind all of a sudden. Compared to what he should be.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just that they're not having a ton of rotation success with these rotations. You want to get the kills, and they're not having the greatest time of that, but Shadow Fiend's getting a lot of farm. I think that's who they need to really try and catch out right now. If they're going to move around to these side lanes constantly trying to catch Mirana, it draws so much attention away from the Shadow Fiend that Joey's just able to get pretty much whatever he wants in terms of farm.
Yeah, he had a fairly annoying early game up against that puck, but as you said, he's just been abandoned by everybody, and he's just gonna be able to do whatever he wants all the time. As Jotham is actually in a quite tough position. Doesn't look like anybody of OSG knows where he is, though, even though they could potentially send a flare. 4 heroes on the top lane for OSG. Hoping that they will try to make something happen, because otherwise it's just standing around for nothing. They're actually gonna have Chomi there as well. Well, they will have to be ready. If they do force out a team fight, they will have to be ready for a puck with the Blink Dagger right now. And they will also have to be ready for potentially trading the tier 1 towers, because that's where VirtusPRO is heading towards.
Yeah, the tower trade's not actually that big of a deal at the moment, if they just want to kind of go that route. But if they end up losing a couple of these heroes, getting surprised by the puck Blink Dagger, can be pretty bad for OSG. They need to really keep up with this momentum, get the farm on the Mirana and the Shadow Fiend. And Shadow Fiend, does he have his BKB done? Yeah, he has the gold for it right now.
Dire's top tower is
I think
under
maybe
attack.
then try to force a fight. The fortification comes out, they'll try to find maybe a hook shot. Nope. Familiar is already trying to block that hook shot. Nicely done. Look at those familiars. That must be the most annoying thing.
Radiant's bottom
They
tower
really are
is
there
under
just to block that,
attack.
but they will give some gold to Tron. That's at least something.
100 gold, but they also secured the escape, so it's definitely worth it for
Radiant's
VP
bottom
right there.
tower has been denied.
Yeah. Tier 1 tower top now under siege for VirtusPRO. Don't think they can get it. And actually, the tower was denied, the bottom one. So in the end, I mean, overall the towers are even in terms of 1 tower down for each, but
Radiant's
slightly in
top
favor of
tower is
OSG
under
for having
attack.
their own tower denied. Meanwhile, Illidan shackled up, might be in some trouble here. There's gonna be the battery assault, the arrow. It doesn't hit actually. The arrow just missed. How can you miss a standing still target? That's just awkward. Sentry Ward goes down, so this Moonlight Shadow is not going to help Wicked Sick, but the presence of everybody of his team will help him keep him safe. That arrow should have just hit, and that would have been a kill.
Is under attack.
It was really weird by Bignum too. There's no reason to throw the sort of leading arrow against the anti-mage. If he's getting away, it's because he blinked, not because he ran.
Yeah.
So you just kind of click on him and hope for the best.
Yeah, it was just a bit awkward. Well, I guess mistakes happen. Everybody is human after all. It was a match between bots that would be really boring.
Yeah, it would definitely not be the most entertaining thing, but at the same time, bots do some funny looking things sometimes.
Well, bots, if it's up to bots, they'll just have the laning stage all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Bots love to just like kind of stand in lane forever and farm and do silly things.
Yep.
They get the tower mid though, now they're gonna head towards this top lane and we'll get to see OSG probably force another tower. VP haven't really made an effort to defend these tier 1 towers thus far, and it doesn't look like they're planning to yet either, with G sort of heading down towards this bottom lane. Actually, Illidan's down there as well, so it looks like they're going to give away at least this last tier 1 tower.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, and with that they'll get a
Dire's
decent gold
structures are
advantage.
fortified.
They need that though, because this is their time to shine, because Anti-Mage is still happily farming away with his Battle Fury, with his treads. It's just a matter of time before he's going to be the Anti-Mage that everybody loves and fears. And they need to be able to get ahead in the meantime. Well, they did lose their tier 1 middle at the same time as they got the tier 1 top, and that's not really all that great. So they need to find kills. I mean, I find that they are not as aggressive as I think they should be.
Well, they're moving around and trying to force fights, but if VP are willing to just completely sack towers, there's not necessarily that much OSG can do at the moment. The kind of unfortunate thing is that they just ended up with a tower trade there when there wasn't a ton of reason, but they were kind of in a position that they had created where they either had to just trade the towers or give up on pushing the one top to trying to defend the one mid.
Yeah,
and they want to get these early towers.
Yeah, they didn't need to send all 5 people top. Indeed, they could have had a couple in the middle to defend their tower, and that would have been okay. In the meantime, the Dire side has kind of taken over the Radiant jungle, or at least in numbers. They've been here on the bottom lane for quite a long time. They will soon be forced to rotate though, because apparently OSG is not done with their pushing, 5-man pushing, and they are gonna try and see what they can do here on the middle lane. There's a Tron waiting for his hookshot. We haven't really seen his hookshot just yet. At least not as an initiation. But I'm still hoping that they want to try and find a fight. Ooh, perhaps he can find Arsart. Nope, never mind. There's also Light of Heaven around there. Light of Heaven who has got himself his Hand of Midas and his mechanism ready as well. But in the end, VirtusPRO doesn't want to fight. They'll lose their tier 2 tower and they'll just continue farming bottom and top and everywhere else. Which is actually not that bad. Because they're getting farm on 2 lanes, while OSG is with 5 sitting middle only gets a tower and some farm out of that with 5 of them.
They're getting these towers moving around, and that's good, but VP is really doing a good job of farming the map elsewhere. They're running out of towers to keep going for this, and they're actually going to initiate Light of Heaven.
This arrow does hit. The mechanism already popped. The Starstorm comes in comes Illidan as well, though. He looks to be trying to end the job that Light of Heaven started, but Tron mana voided. He will go down from this one unless he gets denied. Yep. Hello. Big Nam making that happen. The mana void now on cooldown. Big Nam leaps forward. He's gonna go for this. He's gonna get this as well. That is not worth it one bit. In the meantime, also Visage dies on the bottom lane. G still jumps forward, still wants to get some retaliation. He gets arrowed down, and that's a triple kill for Big Nam's Mirana. Oh my god, they just run into die one by one.
It looks like G was completely caught off guard by how much damage Big Nam could put out there in terms of burst.
Yes. That is guaranteed. Meantime, bottom lane actually. Oh, they're just fighting with familiars. They're not getting them. Well, that was 4 heroes dead on the map on the side of VirtusPRO, and all they lost was the Clockwork, which was actually denied still. And I mean, everything on cooldown now. Mana Void, Doom, all used. Dream Coil used as well. For what? For nothing. Wow, that happened.
It didn't go the way that VP planned by any means. And G went in there and was like, at least I'll be able to get this kill on Big Nam, and then Big Nam kills G from like a quarter health to start. So definitely could have gone better. And that's a big fight for VP to be able to win. It gave a ton of more gold and a bunch of solo kill experience effectively to Mirana. So it's looking really good for them right now. I'm kind of surprised Mirana's going for a Lincoln Sphere. I guess the idea is that you don't want to get doomed ever. But there are quite a few other spells. Actually, there aren't that many spells now that I'm looking at it. I guess it's like Mana Void and Visage Slow and Nuke.
Yeah.
Nuke has such a long. The Visage Nuke has such a long range, though. It's really good for breaking the Doom, and even Doombringer can just break it himself with the level death.
Yeah, for breaking the Lincoln Zoo, you're right. We do have a go up on the top lane. They go for Tron, they doom him up again. This time there will be nobody there to deny him. The Soul Assumption comes in, the kill goes to Illidan, but a rainbow of teleports comes out. Arrow gets sent, won't be hitting up on Illidan though, and everybody at VirtusPRO backed off, so they use 3 heroes to kill off a Clockwork. They don't get the tower for it. I mean, it's nice to kill off the Clockwork and all, but I'm not quite sure if it's completely worth it, as Wicked Sick is moonlight shadowed to get away from G. Oh, they dust though. Did they hit him with the dust? Nope. The shackle comes out, that's gonna be keeping him safe for a while. They're still chasing? No, they're not. No, they're not.
G threw an orb down in case he was hiding down in the bottom, but no one's gonna be there, and Shackle Shot's gonna miss. Looks like they're actually gonna turn this around. Maybe Arsart might be in trouble, but Chomi can't get there.
Oh, G is the one that's maybe in the most of trouble, but he is just able to blink and juke himself out of there. Master Escaper. In the meantime, Illidan is actually trying to solo up Roshan. I don't think he can get this though, not without some help. Look at him. I mean, Vlad's is great and all that, but you need some extra minus armor, I'd say. Yeah, he realizes that too. And actually, in comes OSG, probably seeing if they can make something happen with Roshan instead, noticing that he's already quite low.
Hey, you find Roshan at half health, may as well go for it. It doesn't look like VirtusPRO or even in a position to contest. Venomancer's the only one even in the region. So, free Roshan. The deny tried to come out from the familiars, but Chomi was too close, picked up the Aegis right away.
Yeah, I mean, that's also what you can do with the minus armor coming off from the Shadow Fiend, right? I mean, that's something that VirtusPRO definitely lacked. And that showed for sure. Arsart trying to farm some Ancients while he's here, might as well. Light of Heaven starting to build towards his BKB. I mean, just checking out some items. I'm still finding that Anti-Mage, considering he has his Battle Fury and Power Tread now for about, what, 6 minutes or so? I find that he has very little farm.
He hasn't really picked anything else up. Yeah, it's kind of surprising. He did die to Mirana, which is probably a surprise to him. And he's got to start working towards that Yasha and moving around and getting farm wherever he can. There aren't a lot of great places for him to really farm on the map right now, though. The bottom lane has been pushed out for quite a while, so that's a really unsafe place for him. And we've seen a lot of attention going towards this top lane from OSG, so that's not the safest place either. He's just kind of stuck moving around the jungle, and while he is certainly quick when it comes to jungle farming, the jungle still only has so much gold in it.
Yeah, and half of it is being taken by the Doom, and by the Visage apparently as well, so you're right, he can't really farm as fast as he probably would want to, and as he is capable of also. We'll continue farming bottom, but while he is bottom, his top lane is pushed out once again. It looks like OSG wants to see if they can find a fight. They've got the Lincolns ready. They've got the start of the pipe ready upon the Crystal Maiden. They've got the mechanism. They have also got all 5 heroes, the Manta and the BKB upon the Shadow Fiend. 10-second BKB as well, so that will be interesting. And Clockwork just standing, waiting around the corner, looking for a hookshot. Looking to try and find someone. They don't have a ward placed on the high ground, which I find quite surprising. And they also won't be able to find anybody of VirtusPRO because they just decided, you know what, we don't want to fight. We'll see how far they come.
Yeah, VirtusPRO continuing on with this strategy where they're just going to sack as many outer towers as they can. They're trying to get these good trades. They're going for the tier 2 bottom, but they're not getting it very quickly. In the meantime, they're losing this tier 3 top. So they're going to have to react pretty soon. They finally get that tier 2 down, and they've lost 2/3, 3/4. This tier 3, and they're still going. They need to make a move.
Well, apparently they're not going to make a move. They'll lose their tower, deny tower on the mid tier 3 top, but no, it doesn't really matter all that much. Tower dead is tower dead. These Fenowars, yeah. Holding everybody off. That's really saving them right now. The shackles won't ledge. The hookshot was already sent out earlier. Didn't ledge anything as well. So that's going to be OSG backing off, but. Ooh, it's a fake back. They smoked up, they moonlight shadowed, and with no wards up the high ground, they can just go up here. No tower, they go on Arsart. Arsart will die. Next up is G. Can they find a shackle? The silence is there, the dream coil open to the leap away from Mirana. Chomi turns on his BKB, gets doomed before he can go for his Requiems of Souls, but it doesn't matter, he can still hit like a truck, and he is able to get a triple kill with help. Actually, that's Mirana triple kill, because Mirana is awesome. But he is at least able to still help everybody. That's gonna be 4 dead overall. Buybacks happening. Arsart's back in the game. There's no racks down just yet, and it looks like Chomi might still die from these wards. Chomi! Oh, he has an Aegis. Never mind that. I forgot about that for a second.
Radiant's middle tower
But this is...
attack.
That's a pretty big turn and burn right there. I like that. The ranged racks will die. They look to be not getting anything more out of that. I mean, they're not gonna go for the melee racks just yet. They did lose Mirana in the end to the puck, and he actually got himself 1200 gold for that kill.
So yeah, a lot happened there, and I think that's really where VirtusPRO are going to start getting punished for just constantly dodging fights throughout the whole early and mid game. Shadowfiend rushed BKB and wasn't forced to use a charge until just then, and he's had this BKB for like 13 minutes or something.
Yeah, and it was still on 10 seconds.
Right, and they also gave basically a free Aegis to OSG because they tried to go for it without any real good way of killing the Roshan, and then OSG just walked up and finished it off. So everything was set up just so well for Shadowfiend to just stand there and be like, okay, well, I have an Aegis, I have a fresh BKB, I'm just going to pop this and hit your barracks. They only get the ranged barracks in the end, which is somewhat sad, kind of disappointing, but they still do take down a tier 3 and a range barracks at like 25 minutes, while VP really haven't gained any traction. Anti-Mage still just has a Yasha, hasn't gotten close to his Manta style yet, and Doom's sitting on like BKB, doesn't really do any damage.
Yeah, maybe the side device that just got picked up on the puck will help out. I mean, he's got some more initiation power right now, but you're right. I mean, VirtusPRO, I mean, their anti-mage is still lower in net worth compared to both the Shadowfiend and the Mirana, and it is starting to get slightly out of hand. I mean, at this point you'd already expect an anti-mage to be having a fairly decent contribution to a fight like that, but he just wasn't able to make it happen, and he just dies real fast actually, especially with both the Shadowfiend and Mirana hitting quite hard actually, and Shadowfiend now also going for Butterfly, no MKB in sight just yet. I mean, who's gonna build the MKB? Is it gonna be the anti-mage? He kinda needs some survivability before he can do that, I believe.
It would be pretty surprising if he tried to go for an MKB just to counter the Butterfly. It's an annoying item to have to deal with on the Shadowfiend, but if Anti-Mage just rushes Butterfly, he's gonna, or MKB, he's just gonna melt. You're right, he's not survivable enough to go for that kind of item. And here comes the push back in the top lane again, and this melee barracks, they can't even really defend it.
No, and they don't want to try and force out a fight unless they know that there's more at stake than just these melee barracks. I want to try and fight maybe for a tier 3 tower. Whoa, gee, jumping in. TP out from Chomi will still happen. I was actually thinking he jumps in towards his death. He is happy that there's no Scythe of Ice yet up on someone else. And actually talking about that, there's not, like, I was kind of expecting Wind Ranger to maybe have that by now. I might be slightly, you know, optimistic. It's a support Wind Ranger, but oh well. She has got a 4-staff though. That's the item that she just finished up. There's no real Scythe of Ice builder on the side of OSG, I guess, apart from that Wind Ranger. Clockwork sometimes builds it, but he is going for the Aghanims first. Crystal Maiden does have her pipe ready though, and I mean, I would have liked to see a Scythe of Ice. They don't really have that much lockdown apart from a Frostbite and an arrow and a shackle shot. But if G jumps in like that, you kind of want to either hex or have a stun that someone can't cast spells through anymore. It's not yet there.
Yeah, the big items aren't really coming up from OSG or even VirtusPRO, even less so, I guess. A lot of the farm in the game is situated on carries. We don't have the really big supports that we've kind of started to grow, I guess, accustomed to, where some of these support heroes get really big items surprisingly early nowadays. But there is still a lot more farm situated on the side of OSG, even if their supports don't have anything huge, like a scythe or anything. They still do have big items, like there's a pipe on Crystal Maiden, and the mech is up. Tron, he just finished his axe, so that's also a big pickup for him, so he's going to start having that in this fight. And they're porting all to the top lane. I'm not actually sure why OSG are porting all the way up here. Maybe they were just worried about the push?
Yeah, maybe they are trying to find anti-mage? Whoa, hello!
Oh.
Now that's when you need a hex. The Starstorm comes out, the arrow, wow, that's debatable.
Poor Illidan, he just blinked forward, he was gonna kill the creep wave off, and suddenly 3 smoked heroes and dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened. Well, I think that's why they rotated top to try and see if someone came to farm the lane, and then they could kill him off and maybe push afterwards, which is a pretty decent thing to do, because if they can force out anti-mage to buyback, that will be a big deal. I mean, he's sitting on 3,200 gold, which is almost ready for his next item, and with buying back, he'll be having a big setback there again. We'll see, though. The pipe is already up for OSG. They look to be going high ground here. Venom and support still there, of course. G might actually decide to jump in here. Nope. And the hook shot, once again, from Clockwork doesn't work to initiate. So OSG will just be left to hit the tower, which is exactly what they do. The Poison Nova and the Gale still come out to try and slow them down. Now G jumps in. The BKB gets activated. Chomi still going for the Requiem of Souls because he thinks he's gonna get doomed, but nobody is there to take any damage from it. And with that BKB on cooldown, and with everybody ticking lower and lower, and the mechanism already used, OSG is successfully forced away from VirtusPRO's barracks. Tier 3 tower still standing.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised OSG didn't just kind of go high ground and force that really hard. But they're not really in a position where they have to, I guess. So if they can do some damage, whittle the tower down, and then back off completely cleanly like that, it's fine. It's possible that Chomi shouldn't have used the BKB charge. I think he was just very worried about getting doomed before popping it and then just getting bursted down because he doesn't have any of the protection. But he's got his butterfly finish now. He does just a ton of damage. He's going to be attacking really fast. And when he has that BKB up with the butterfly, it's real hard for VP to actually be able to kill him.
Yeah, and at that point, I mean, even the doom on him doesn't matter. He'll still hurt you. He'll still hurt you like hell. It's a tricky thing. If you were allowed to have it, who's your doom target? Who are you gonna focus?
I think Mirana is probably actually the best bet right now. Typically, Mirana is gonna be the one actually doing things with spells. If you can catch Shadow Fiend out with the doom before he BKBs and maybe just try and burst him down, kind of catch him out, then it's fine. But otherwise, I think Mirana is probably a better target.
Well, Mirana has been placing her Lincolns up on Chomi, so they know that the Shadow Fiend isn't the target to worry about at first. And I mean, you do have it when you have the Lincolns on you. You have a moment to pop your BKB right after your Lincolns is popped, I believe. So that's gonna be something. Well, they will try to go for the tier 3 tower, but from behind, smoked up, VirtusPRO looking to go middle, jumping in. G silencing up 2. Delta split coming off from OSG. Now the doom up on Chomi, but he still has the BKB on, so he will be fine. We'll start hitting up an Illidan, who's already forced out of this fight. The Dream Coil is still there. So far, the only one that died is a Visit. Chomi still hexed up, and it looks like he might actually die, but Requiem of Souls after he died still does a lot of damage, and that freezing field cannot be underestimated. It is 3, 4... Well, actually, there's 4 for 1. 4 dead on the side of VirtusPRO, but both Puck and Anti-Mage bought back. With Chomi, Shadow Fiend also bought back. We'll be back here in just a moment. OSG doesn't really have to wait for that long. They're still outnumbering it. They're gonna try and take down Arsart before anybody else jumps in, like G. Well, G gets taken down as well, and now only Anti-Mage is the only one that's alive. The Mana Void! He gets a double kill, killing off the Windrunner and the Mirana, but it doesn't matter. Mirana just buys back, and there's still 3 heroes bashing on these wrecks right now. OSG, I love seeing this. They were joining StarLadder in Season 6. Started off real strong with a lot of potential. And Season 7, they were kind of meh. And then they come back, Season 8, showing us how it's done. And we'll take Roshan.
Another Roshan going there is also a pretty big deal. We saw how much work it took to take down the Shadow Fiend just once in that last game. And now if he's going to have that Aegis, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to ever actually be able to win. And of course they are missing a lane and a half of Rax at this point as well. Yeah. So another death push with an Aegis is probably going to spell the end of the game with them. Hopefully Arsart, I guess, is just having computer issues and didn't like rage quit or something. Well, never know.
Yeah, I mean 12k gold in favor of OSG, almost 12k experience, and still Anti-Mage. I mean, he just joined the fight, right? I mean, they were gonna try and pincer OSG from behind, trying to lock them in between tier 3 and the team, but Anti-Mage, I mean, he came close to Chomi, noticed he was being focused, and before he got out, he took so much damage, and then he came back in to actually go down to the Requiem of Souls that Chomi let out after he died. That's, it's too much. He can't do enough. Anti-Mage needs more than this, and that's why he does not pick up that often anymore. He's not as unique in his farming ability. There's other people that farm fast as well, and with every kill giving more gold and such, he's not gonna get so much more ahead compared to other people if there's actually kills happening on the map. And the jungle farm is of course nerfed.
Yeah, and just the way VP played this game was kind of sacrificing a lot of map objectives to try and allow anti-mage as much time as possible to farm, and that gave time for Doom to farm as well. And they both started getting farm, but they still need more time, and they've had to fight a little bit earlier than they wanted to, so they're not as strong as maybe they wanted to before the fights. And now they're way on the back foot. They're pressured in their base because they had to give up so many towers early on, and they're just in this position where it's going to be difficult for them to really do anything.
Yep. Well, we're having the unpause happening, so we'll see what VirtusPRO's stand is going to be. I mean, I feel like they have got one chance left to, like, if they lose the next fight, the game is over. So they have to win the next fight, and the one after, and the one after, because they're not going to get it with one fight, because they still have some tier 2 standing, and there's of course buybacks instead of OSG as well as an Aegis now. So the question is, how are they gonna make sure that they are gonna win the next fight? And I'm just not sure, because they just need more time, and I'm afraid that OSG is not gonna give that time.
I feel like they were really close with the last fight. They almost had the really good initiation off of the puck, but G was just a little off target with his blink out of that smoke backstab. I think if he had maybe been able to just catch a couple heroes with a Dream Coil for the setup there, while they still had the surprise factor, it could have been big. But instead, he kind of just blinked in, revealed the smoke, and then was forced to immediately orb out because he was in an awkward spot.
We'll see if they can do better this time, because in comes OSG from the bottom lane. Looking to make it happen, looking to end it all, if they can. Feel like they have a good chance as the arrow doesn't hit anything, but they'll start in the tier 3 towers, forcing everybody of VirtusPRO to come around. Hookshot in. This one hits. It's the first one of the 3 lanes that actually hits. It hits upon Arsart, and Arsart will be picked off. No Gale, no Poison Nova, no forcing back like they did in the first, or the middle lane rather. The mechanism, the racks, everything is already dead on the bottom lane, apart from the heroes. Nice hookshot again. That's up on 2G, and Light of Heaven stuck in their cogs. One is already dead, the other turned on his BKB, but Light of Heaven, he is only able to just run with it. He can't do anything. The Mana Void will still take care of a Crystal Maiden, but Illidan, a Crystal Maiden kill is not gonna win you the fight. And of course now, the ranged racks get dropped in the mid lane as well. That means that there is mega creeps for OSG, and the GGs come out. VirtusPRO will still not have a single win in StarLadder Star Series Season 8, while OSG takes this win, and I think they can be very pleased with themselves.
It was just really good play there, coming out from OSG, especially in that last fight by Tron and the Clockwork, moving around and blocking people off. Shadow Fiend and Mirana were able to just lay into those barracks, take out the buildings, and close the game out instead of messing around trying to get in a big sloppy fight when all they really needed to do was kill some buildings.
Well, and they did that. We're gonna see if OSG can also take the next game. The next game will be up against the retry. That means indeed that this is the game of PGG. We'll see OSG versus the retry in about 10 minutes from now, which is when the official starting time of the game is. So you can get yourself another drink or some food, or just sit back and relax and wait for the next game to happen. This is StarLadder. We'll be right back.